I find myself yet again in the position of needing to do a whole track in a day that was supposed to take me a week. So I was thinking about how I can basically churn something out as quick as possible. I think what I'm going to go with is basically generative, kind of pseudo-random, maybe even ambient kind of chill track that I'm just going to then let run for ages. So this is the Dirtywave M8. It is a very different way of doing music. I'm not the best at it, but we'll see how we go. So this is like the main kind of song construction screen of the M8. I'm not going to actively describe every single thing as I do it because it's a somewhat complex process. But hopefully there's something interesting to look at and listen to as I'm kind of going through this. So there's a couple of different instrument types on the M8. The macro synth here is from one of the mutable instruments, like modular synths. I forget which one. Is it Braids, maybe? But you can get some interesting kind of sounds out of it. Yeah, plucked maybe. So I'm interested in starting with some kind of like randomized element that goes with a random pitch and a random probability of being struck every time. Let me give a brief explainer of what's going on. It works like a spreadsheet, so the music's going from top to bottom, basically. So right now, I'm triggering this note, every single note of the bar, but then each note can have several commands associated with it. This command here is basically saying if you look down the bottom, there is a random probability that the note can be changed each time it's triggered. So it's picking a random note, essentially. And then this command here is saying that there's a 6% chance that the note is played at all. So basically, every note of the bar right now, I have a random chance of playing a random note. The instrument that's being used itself is this plucked sound that I liked. I will see how I feel about maybe trying the new hypersynth out, which lets you do chords. I feel like that's going to be appropriate here. And then maybe towards the end, I know I said ambient, but maybe I should bring in some drums and see how we feel about that. Drums, bass, chords, random pinging element that becomes a less random. Is that a track? I don't know. Let's see how we feel about some drums. So this is our hi-hat. Writing music like this can be taxing on the brain. Track is done. It's a long one, so I'll play it now and then give some quick thoughts. So I really like that. I planned at the start to start generative ambient, and it's not really ambient, and it's not generative either. It's very randomized. Everything everything kind of plays basically random notes and random patterns. But in terms of actual song structure, that's very much programmed in. But it's cool. I will have to do some more M8 tracks in the future because I really like how that turned out. It was I was worried I'd get bogged down in it and not actually be able to come up with anything musical in a day's work. But I think it worked quite well. Haven't decided what I'm going to do next week yet, but it's the Easter break, so hopefully that gives me some time to be a bit more deliberate about things. That's probably optimistic.